Here we go. Hello, and welcome to another Singularity Let's Play. This is Northstar. Now, I speak to you on the eve of what I hope will be people waking up and resisting. I hate to say this, but things are coming to crux. You're going to have to, if you're listening to this viewer in the United States, you're going to have to resist the system. It is becoming murderous like never before. For the first time, the United States system, the government has pulled all of the student loan income-based repayment plans. They haven't technically pulled some of them in terms of canceling the programs. Instead, they've pulled all applications for the programs, which, because the way the programs work, you have to reapply every year to remain in the program, which means they've eliminated the programs as of the beginning of next year. They all expire at Christmas this year. No one will be able to reapply. They will cease to exist. This will horrendously fuck over people like me. I'm disabled with long COVID, and now I won't even be able to do any kind of deferment or anything like that. I mean, there may be a short availability, but once the court case is finished, assuming that the resistance to this ruling does not succeed, then deferments won't be available. Forbearance have as a limited lifetime limit. All, for instance, over $3,000 a month while disabled. That's impossible to pay. And over, of course, to about $250,000 in principal based on capitalizing interest, because they've just been rolling it in. I was going to eventually have forgiveness in the loans, and I mean, if things hadn't worked out terribly, I was going to become a physician. I would have been paid off pretty much all the loans before any forgiveness would have kicked in. Maybe a little would have been forgiven at the end. Or at least a large chunk of it would have been. It wasn't like this was impossible, but becoming disabled completely fucked up my earnings potential. But this isn't about me. I'm not saying to resist the system that because me, because this is a sign of the malice of the system. This is the sign of where it's headed, of what's going on. Pulling all income-based repayment plans. They'll probably cancel the Medicaid expansion. They will make it so people with pre-existing conditions can't be covered again. The people in power will probably even try and eliminate Social Security. This is the beginning of the end of many people to survive. People who are at the bottom, who are sick, elderly, who are poor. This is a murderous system. This is headed in a dark, deeply disturbing direction, far, far quicker than I ever could have anticipated. I thought this would take years to get this point. By this rate, there'll be concentration camps and they'll be killing people by the end of 2028. That's how bad, how quickly things are getting. You cannot ignore this. Get out, protest. When I say resist, start off by calling your congressmen, your senators, but they won't probably want to do shit. You can get on protest. We'll get whether you can strike, whether you can do any kind of non-violent resistance legally. I can't tell you to do anything illegal. This is YouTube. I understand. I can't tell you what to do, period. But you do something. Because this is, if the people in power are willing to step on this many people at the bottom this quickly, they're not going to show even half the restraint that might have been imagined even just a couple months ago. There's going to be mass murder. There's going to be cops shooting people in the street. It's going to get bad. I can almost guarantee that. That's how history has shown things like this go when the ruling class get this aggressive in their authoritarianism. this quickly. But, don't believe me. This is a prediction. YouTube, I'm not saying these things have happened. This is where all reasoned analysis says things are going. Heck, it's only a matter of time before censorship doesn't allow me to say this. If you're listening to this, wake up. It's anything you've done before to resist this, it hasn't been enough. You're going to have to go further. This is a system that's literally eating its own seed grain in this case. That's what's concerning about this, besides the number of people being affected. If college and grad school becomes unattainable for millions and millions and millions of young people, because this is a shot across the bow, a warning sign to young people not to go to college, that's pretty much giving up on any hope of building a high-tech economy. It's saying that the system is going to double down to fascism, into turning the U.S. into a third world country, into exploitation of labor, rather than trying to build a modern economy, a more modern economy, to get U.S. college attendance rates to catch up to other countries that have long since surpassed us. This is not what the U.S. is going to do. Instead, it's going to go in a much darker direction. Can't see it, but halos are extended by dark matter, which makes the rim of the galaxy rotate faster. Rotational data reveal the dark matter halo around the Tucana 2 dwarf galaxy, which is just a smaller galaxy and will be in term of the Milky Way. Right. And I know this is probably not what you wanted to hear. Watching a video of Singularity. Although I think I've warned many times in the comments, I talk about what's in my mind during this game because it's a clicker. It's boring. And I will use any platform here to sound the warning bells. Things will get worse. Censorship will increase. Police brutality will increase. The subversion of democracy will increase. Corruption will increase. These things are going to get worse, and they're going to feed into each other. This is a system that, in order to avoid the billionaire class losing their primacy, their position of power and dominance, will make life impossible for countless people, will murder people, will do anything. Anything to hold its grip on the power. So listen to me, please. You're doing this. If you're outside the country, tell your government not to trust the U.S. Tell it to be wary. Try and prepare the ground for people to come to your country as refugees, because there are going to be people leaving the country at this rate. There are going to be millions of refugees in the United States looking for somewhere that's better. So, international viewers, there's something you can do too. Because if you don't build awareness of these things now, when the Americans start becoming refugees en masse, there will be anti-immigrant, anti-refugee sentiment against Americans. I'll admit it's fitting in a way with how much Americans have not always been the kindest to refugees abroad. To people trying to cross the border from Latin America, for instance. But there are countless people like me who had no part of that, who fought against that. I've done my part. Heck, I even worked in political organizing, unpaid for a while, after grad school. I have done everything I could to resist this. I'm not responsible for what's happened. I have been part of the resistance far beyond most people. My failure is only a failure to convince more people that you have to wake up. You have to resist this system. It's gone beyond the stuff I was talking about, complaining about with SSDI and getting screwed. Apparently, some of my employers not paying to my Social Security and getting away with it because I was technically a student for a university, so they used a loophole. They didn't tell me they weren't paying my Social Security, but they weren't. Or another employer that just didn't register with the IRS. Or another employer who just I don't know. They don't have any records of income from this employer, so they probably also didn't file anything with the IRS. It goes beyond that. It goes beyond the Social Security Administration using doctors to determine disability who just routinely try and rule people aren't disabled even when they clearly are. It goes beyond all the fuckery we're used to. These things have been done forever. This this is a whole new level of evil, and uh, pains me to say I didn't even see this. I didn't see that it would go as far as canceling all income-based retirement plans. I thought sure they would cancel the new one, the save plan, but the least they're not going to touch the things that have been around for decades. Decades. No, they just eliminated these plans. If they're going to eliminate decades old loan payment plans, forcing people into bankruptcy, or you can't even go bankrupt on student loans. So forcing people into having nothing, literally, to going bankrupt in any other debt they have because their loans are driven bankrupt, and having to pay everything into loans in some cases. In my case, they would take everything in my bank account. They would take everything I get in welfare checks as someone disabled. They would leave me with not even enough money to pay a phone bill. I would be unable to survive. And I'm not the only person who would be screwed this badly. This is a level of malice. And I only just learned about it, but it probably happened a week ago. I don't know. How long ago did they extend the how long ago did a Missouri court extend the ruling on the SAFE plan to a bunch of other income-based plans, and the Department of Education call all applications for all types of income-based retirement plans, even the ones that have been around since decades now. I think the 70s, the 90s, at least 30 years, some of these plans, they're gone. They haven't technically been eliminated, but no one's able to remain in them. So they'll just be paper plans that no one that have 0 people in them. So that's essentially gone. I don't know exactly how long this hit. I don't know how far I am behind the loop already. I know this is just a sign of far, far, far greater malice. Now I'm doing this. There's not much I can do besides raise the alarm, use my platform, try to build my channel to grow my platform. And if worse comes to worse, try to move to another country. And if I've gotten this channel to where it earns me money, if I have enough subscribers, try and apply for asylum in other countries and say, look, I can at least partially support myself off of ad revenue from YouTube. And even if YouTube ever pulls or deletes my account or something, I'll create, as I've shown that I can do this, I'll do social media earning. It's the only thing I can do, disable following COVID. Please let me into your country. I can try that. And I can try using this platform to raise the alarm, even though it's tiny, even though I have less than 100 subscribers, and YouTube shows my videos to almost no one. Because they're already trying to target my channel, I think, with not giving it impressions. That they, in this case, I mean the people at YouTube. I'm pretty sure they reconfigured the algorithm to show fewer people left-wing content. And then my channel would clearly be flagged as left-wing content. Can't be sure of that, but the way right-wing channels seem to get huge numbers of people directed them, huge numbers of impressions, it's likely. I'm just doing what I can here. I'm producing content for you folks. I have very little energy. I still haven't even learned advanced video editing or anything because it's hard for me to have the much energy to sit down and learn stuff with long COVID. And I was waiting until my channel got a little bigger before. Otherwise, there was no point in it. Wasn't going to help that much, and I was gradually learning what I could over time. I don't know if that was an ideal strategy. I don't know if I should just sit down and master whatever I can as quickly as I can before producing more content. This is what I can do. I barely have the physical energy to leave the house with long COVID. I cannot get out and protest and do the things that help the able-bodied viewers such as yourselves, I assume most of you don't have long COVID, can do. So me, other countless people who are disabled or even sicker than me, people who are bedridden with long COVID because they're people who can't even get out of bed, sicker than me, as I said. People are relying on you, viewer. You have to fight back against this. You have to resist by any legal means you can. This is America turning fascist. And if it does succeed in turning fascist, if the powerful succeed in forcing the country in that way, it's going to be a dark age for humanity. The United States has the power to conquer the entire world. It's the only nation on earth that could do this and turn the whole globe to fascism. If nobody wakes up, if people don't intervene early, it'll be too late. If you're outside the country, get your government to wake up. If you're in the country, fight back against it. Or there's going to be 300, 400 years of human misery to follow because people would not wake up when the United States was moving in a direction that could lead to it conquering the world, that could lead to it destroying anything worthwhile in the world. And it'll take a long time for these things to build. All right, well, sound the alarm. It may sound alarmist until you see it happening, but by the time you see these things happening, it's too late. You need to wake up. You need to speak out. You need to speak to people around you, no matter how freaking much they don't want to listen. And say politics are stupid or personal. No, they're not. You have to make some noise, viewers. As many of you as possible. Well, anyways, I wish you all the best. Take care of each other. Be kind to yourselves. May you always find a guiding star to lead you home. Till next time, this is Northstar. Adieu and best luck.